looking back, I wish that I had educated myself and prepared. I trusted my providers, and that is great, but it took the power away from me. I didn't know what questions to ask to be involved in my care, and that's really important to the satisfaction of your birth and how you feel about it. And so it can be traumatizing. I just keep going back to the empowering part, but that's like the only word I can think of. It empowers you. It gives you some of that control to know what to ask and what to do. It's just night and day. I mean, it was so much more satisfying. I felt empowered, respected, and communicated with. And even when things on my birth preferences and plan didn't go as I wanted, I was okay with it and at peace with it because of the questions I knew to ask and had been trained to ask. And the comfort techniques, I really did very well. I was handling them, switching strategy to strategy. I mean, one thing's not going to work the whole time.
Right.
So it was great. Just knowing the stages of labor and that this is normal. This doesn't mean that I can't do it.
So big difference. And even when women have C-sections, we can't prevent all C-sections. About 3% of C-sections are truly medically necessary. But even those clients can have a nice, enjoyable birth experience, even when it doesn't go exactly according to plan. But the difference was you planned ahead, you put some work in on the backside, and your education and your practice and your homework and doing your exercises and trying to eat well.
I think all the training was worth it because I did avoid an epidural, which is money. I did avoid a C-section, which is a lot of money.
Right.
And so it was, well worth it. And I continue to use the comfort techniques, the breathing exercises, because I have 3 young boys, and they're quite a challenge. I liked being involved in the discussions and decisions on what was happening to my body.
So you learned about informed consent.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I liked the pushing, being able to feel the pushes without the epidural.
Wow.
To me, being able to feel gave me more power, because otherwise I felt like I was just pushing and pushing, and getting nothing for it.
Valid.
It was discouraging.
The difference is, when are you going to choose to be uncomfortable? That's really what people have to understand about giving birth. So if we just want to skip some pain during labor and just have an epidural, but at some point in time we're not on an epidural anymore, and how are you going to manage your discomfort from the time the medicine ends and or after baby and or the epidural unfortunately doesn't work? When will I choose to be uncomfortable to get a baby out of my body? And if I decide to invest some time into a childbirth class and actually train my body for labor, then I have the power as a laboring woman to further reduce pain that I experience by learning what positions to be in, which are good for labor, things I can do to progress labor naturally, ways that my husband, my partner, my labor coach can help me further reduce pain and discomfort, and even simple things like just leaning into a contraction, which can make the contraction feel way less painful. Regardless of whether you choose to medicate or not medicate, I think the average person would say their experience was made better with education and training. And even just the simple knowledge we share on nutrition and exercise to prepare the body. Regardless of how your baby exits your body, you're going to be healthier, stronger, you're going to heal faster.
Just helping with the positions and the breathing and the relaxation techniques, massages. I knew I would need that. I knew my partner would also, need some extra support and gentle reminders that, this is what we're going to do now.
What? You mean sometimes doulas are for the dads too?
It can be traumatic for the partners when they don't know what to do.
True.
And that is when they freeze and they just sit there. This is one of the most important events of your life.
True.
And if you put any kind of effort into a wedding or a shower, you better darn well put some effort and energy and time supporting her after, you got her pregnant.
As a doula, I had clients in Charlotte who I think he summed it up best from a male perspective in terms of why they decided to hire a doula. And he said, well, I do a lot of traveling in my job, and I have a lot of flights, and some of those flights aren't great, and there can be turbulence, and you just think, oh geez, is this plane going down? And he says, I just looked at Pam like I do the flight attendant. And if Pam wasn't panicking, well, I wasn't panicking. And the same thing I do with the flight attendant when I'm on a bad flight. If she's not panicking, I'm not panicking. And I thought, okay, valid. What we try to encourage is that at the end of this journey, that mom says, I could not have done this without Dad. Not that she couldn't have done it without you or without me, but Dad. So Dad has to have some skills and some tools to be able to help her. And not all doulas, have the same goals for their clients, but our goal, of course, is always to support low intervention, natural birth whenever possible. And the majority of people with training and education can do that. We'll never be able to prevent all scenarios where there's a drug that has to be involved to remedy a problem or to keep mom out of the OR. But at the same time, those situations are few and far between when people remain healthy and well-nourished and are in a good physical condition, ready to give birth. So that's a good thing. We have our 4-week Your Birth Helper with our retreat option. That's fun and exciting too. But basically, we've done our best between the two of us, between the Charlotte team. We got Lena and Nancy doing workshops and classes in Charlotte. And of course, you and I both offering virtual classes. We've done our very best, I think, to take away all the excuses that people might have in regards to training for baby and or assistance in getting a baby out.
When your schedule is restricted, the flexibility that comes with Zoom, almost always I can work with the person and find a time that's convenient for them. So just having that option instead of it's only offered on Saturdays, I can't do that, I'm done.
And there's no $5 gas involved.
Yep. I like being able to see their home, where they might be when early labor begins. So most people are at home in early labor, and so I'll see things like the staircase, and I'm like, okay, well, the staircase is going to be a great tool. Can you move me over there and we'll do some positions? So let's do a squat position. Are you going to put your butt on this stair, your feet on the next stair? And that's really just like getting hands-on.
So almost like a doula prenatal visit to the home. So it can be done, even if our hands are tied and Dad has to be our hands. It's not anybody's idea of fun to, have their doula on cell phone, on FaceTime or whatever, but I can talk people through contractions, which sometimes we have to do anyway because there's various circumstances. What we need our clients to understand is there's still options. There's options of people switching providers, switching birthplaces to a hospital who will allow a doula to be there to support them. Now, that's not every pregnant person's idea of fun, but some of our clients have chose to do that because they understand the value of doula support. The value of virtual doula services is still worthy of an investment, and we lower our prices for that anyway. So it's kind of a win-win for people. If they've trained, Dad knows what positions, so if we suggest a position, Dad knows how to execute it. That's the difference. Virtual doula would not be effective if a couple had not had a childbirth class and did not train for labor. I've now had repeat clients who, because they had a great experience virtually the first time, guess what? They decided to do it again. Dad's like, I got this. I can do whatever Pam suggests that I do. And I've since had repeat clients who chose a virtual contract even though they could have had a doula bedside with them. So it's just a matter of perspective and how people see the value of what they're paying for. Of course, I've been teaching Bradley for a long time. It's formerly known as Husband Coach Childbirth, but Natural Childbirth the Bradley Way is still a very popular book. A lot of people have used the Bradley method over the years.
That repetition and that practice, you know, you can learn it all you want, but you really got to practice it. And just when you dedicate that level, you know, of an investment, you need to also invest that time.
True.
And so really forcing yourself to do the practices and do the homework every week. And so every week for 12 weeks, it just becomes natural, and that's what you want.
The relaxation practices, the nutritional information, the Brewer nutritional plan, all of that can help women despite their outcome, because we're just a healthier, more prepared physically, mentally, and emotionally to get a baby out of our body. And then labor coach, dad, partner, husband knows what to do also. So it's kind of a win-win for everybody.